Hi everyone, it's been a while. So I did actually record a May wrap up, but never happened, did it? Never got uploaded. And then it was the middle of the month and I thought, no, maybe not. So this is again, like my previous video, going to be a May and June wrap up. Also, it hides the fact that I only read one book in June, so that's also good. Let's get started. So in May I read two books. I read The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood and I read Perfect by Cecelia Ahern. Let's start with The Handmaid's Tale. This has recently been turned into a TV adaptation on ITV? Channel 4? Channel 4. Channel 4. I have to admit I prefer the TV adaptation to the book. The book is brilliant, but it's really hard to focus on, and it's actually, if you see in the TV programme, you see how much there is in the TV programme, and they've tried to cram all of that into this book, or the book crammed it in and then they've spread it out. So actually, for me, it works better as a TV programme. The book itself I found quite hard to keep going with, and I did find myself going back pages to reread bits because I'd forgotten or everything like that. And to be honest, it is quite a confusing book. They have names that change and there's characters who come in and leave, and it's just confusing to me anyway. Basically, this book is about a woman called Offred, and which is the name that they give her. She is the main character and she is the narrator, and she is in this society where women have lost all of their roles or are given roles within the society, and Offred is a handmaid. So basically what Offred's job is to breed. She is essentially a womb as a person. The society that she now lives in is male orientated. It's very dramatic. The point of view that men are everything and women are nothing, essentially. It actually made me really angry, because this society is just horrible to women. Absolutely horrible. And I believe the TV show shows it a lot better because it shows you what it was like before to what it is like now. And not that, like, you can't compare that in your mind, but it physically shows you the difference, and it's more impacting when you see it on screen and how much it has dramatically changed. You also, on the TV programme, you get a sense of the control that the men have, whereas in the book I didn't feel that, because the book is like an insight into Offred, and it only gives you her point of view. She's quite oppositional in her mind and in her speech through the book. She isn't allowed to say any of it. So even though you're reading it, she's not allowed to say it in the society, which I think the TV show shows a lot better. I would prefer to watch it rather than read it, but I'm so glad I did read it first, because it made everything... When I watched the TV programme, it made it a lot more exciting and I understood what was going on, which was good. So yes, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Book number 2 in May was Perfect by Cecelia Ahern. Now this book I have been waiting for so long, and I was so happy when it came out. This book did not disappoint. It was fantastic. It's the sequel to Flawed by Cecelia Ahern, which was her debut YA novel, which came out last year. This basically follows on from the story of Celestine and where she got left off. So this is Celestine, as you can tell. It tells the story of Celestine's journey once she has been flawed. In this society, you can be branded if you do something that is morally wrong, if you're disloyal, if you lie, things that aren't crimes but are not good things. So Celestine basically feels like she can't live in this world and tries to overpower the guild who enforce this. You have to read both the books. You can't read this on its own, which is fine because the other book is fantastic anyway, but it would not make sense unless you read the other book. Although it did describe everything, it kind of, it recapped over what the other book was going on about, which was nice because, you know, I hadn't read it in like a year. But I do think it is definitely worth a read. It was fantastic. So yay for this. And the last book that I read, well, the only book that I read in June was Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. Now, this book, oh my word, it is by the same woman who wrote The Girl on the Train. So obviously it was going to be brilliant, and it was brilliant. This book I could not put down. I would get onto the train and would be walking and reading at the same time from the train to work. I could not put it down. It was brilliant. From the very first page, you are hooked. The very first page. And it's not often that you find a book that keeps you going to that extent. I read this very quickly, I think. I read it in like a week. And there must have been another book that I read in June. Anyway, back to this. This was absolutely amazing. It is easy to read, but there are lots of points of view. So like Girl on the Train, when you had, I think, was it 4 points of view? 3 or 4? Anyway, you had quite a lot of points of view in that. In this, you also have a lot, but I would say this is more like 6 or 7. So it's difficult to kind of keep track. So I would say you need to read this, again, little and often, but if you do it in a big chunk, I think you'd still understand what was going on. It was so thrilling and so creepy at points. I was babysitting and I had to stop reading because there was one point that just freaked me out too much, and I was like, I need to stop. So to have that effect, I think, was really good. It's creepy, it's exciting, it's just so well put together. I kind of want to read it again because I'm sure there's things that I missed. So I kind of want to read it again. I might read it maybe next year or so. You know, let a bit of time pass and then read it again. Because it was just so good. I'll read you the back because it's very short. It says, Nell Abbott is dead, she said. They found her in the water. She jumped. It was just so good. I'm so pleased I read this. And I love it when you get a book when you genuinely feel so excited to read it. Like, any moment you're like, let me whip out the book. Yes. So that was my slightly pathetic, very small May and June book haul. Book wrap up. Let's do the classic. All the books I read. I'm finding it hard to read at the moment, like, read quantity at the moment. That's my issue. I'm still reading. I'm just reading little bits, little and often. Like on the way to work. Lots of stuff going on. Busy bee. This is my wrap up. I did enjoy these books. Did really enjoy these books. I'm excited to have the summer holidays and to read a lot at that point. That'll be really good. But for now, this is my wrap up. I hope you've enjoyed it and I will see you next time. Bye!